Bayern Munich are playing Union Berlin tomorrow. It's a top of the table clash. We have my predicted lineups, my predicted tactics that Nagelsmann will use in this big game tomorrow, and some of the team news, some of the tidbits from his press conference, and our general style of play. So he has said that Matthias Tell, who got a very high player rating for me, I'll be doing my player ratings tomorrow, of course, so check them out. He said that Matthias Tell is out for the game tomorrow. He has some slight problem. Bunasar is out, but of course we're not sorry about that because he sucks. And then Choupo-Moting is on the bench, and or not Choupo-Moting is also has a slight injury, but he'll be on the bench, so I don't think he'll come on most likely. But for my lineup, I think that Neuer will return in goal as opposed to what we saw in against Victoria Köln in the midweek, and we'll have Alphonso Davies on the left, of course, instead of Stanisic. Centre back is a place where it's unclear how Nagelsmann will go. We have three options for two positions, and I think that it'll be Hernandez and De Ligt to get the nod, because Upamecano, of course, made that dreadful, disastrous mistake last week against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And De Ligt and Hernandez played well against Köln, and I think that they'll get their run out, because we want to have a left-footed centre-back in Hernandez, so he's probably the safest. While between the right centre-back spots, it's De Ligt and Upamecano, but De Ligt's been very good every time he's gone on. Upamecano made that huge mistake last week, so maybe De Ligt will get his chance to get his minutes, get his run in the team. But I could also see Upamecano starting, and I would also support Upamecano starting, because Upamecano is probably arguably been the best of these three centre-backs, but he just made that mistake last week. So is it really fair to punish him? I'm not sure. And I think that he could be starting as two. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But De Ligt also was the big money signing. Maybe Nagelsmann's feeling some pressure to play him. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. Nagelsmann said that Pavard, in his press conference, he said that Pavard will definitely start this game, and I completely agree with that. Mazraoui wasn't good versus Victoria Köln, but even if he turned into prime Roberto Carlos, tinged with Cafu, tinged with Philipp Lahm, it wouldn't have been enough for him to start this game, because Pavard's done nothing wrong. He's been one of Bayern's best players this season. So consistent, so great going forward, offensive contributor of the highest order. And he's been just excellent, so of course he starts at right back, as he should. In midfield, it could be Ryan Gravenberch partnering Joshua Kimmich, but I saw an interesting point about this partnership, is that Gravenberch, it may be too attacking, he's best as an 8, while Kimmich is also kind of best as an 8, and when Sabitzer plays, Sabitzer allows Kimmich to really be a 6. Allows Kimmich to be at 8, and Sabitzer drops in and does those defensive duties of a 6. There's much more balance in that partnership. Even more balance in that partnership than the Kimmich-Goretzka partnership nowadays. So I think that it should be Sabitzer who plays as the 6 role. Kimmich plays as the number 8, and that should be our midfield in my opinion. I think that the attack is another area where there are 4 players for, there are 6 players for 4 positions. And I think Thomas Muller and Sadio Mane are probably safe. Nagelsmann played them in the midweek also, and he said they're very important players, and they are the veterans, so they're probably the most assured of being into that side. And they will be assured of, Mane will be assured of playing as a striker. Thomas Muller will probably, could play as a central attacking midfielder in a 4-2-3-1 formation. But I actually think that Bayern will line up again with the 4-2-2-2, which brought so much success at the start of the season. And I think Muller will line up in that right attacking half space, therefore. But who to partner these two players? I think it'll actually be Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry up top. So Serge Gnabry partnering Mane is the cornerstone of that 4-2-2-2 formation. If there's no other strike partner, then Bayern would probably play a 4-2-3-1. So this is dependent on Gnabry playing. But if Gnabry does play, which I think he will, I think he'll partner Mane up top in that 4-2-2-2, and that leaves the one wing spot for Sané, Coman, and Musiala. What options do Bayern have? Incredible. But I think that ultimately it'll be Coman who gets the nod in this instant. And Nagelsmann said that whenever Coman is available, he always really has to play. So I think it'll be Coman, which is harsh on Musiala and Sane. But I could easily see a 4-2-3-1 formation also, with Mane up top, and then say Coman on the right wing, and Musiala or Sane on the left wing. I could also see that. Musiala was so good first 3 games of the season. He hasn't been fit for a few weeks. But even in his not-fit time, he's had cameos, and he's really changed the game. He changed the game last week against Mönchengladbach, and he scored against Victoria Köln. So maybe Musiala should start. Maybe Musiala should start in place of Gnabry on the left wing. That would personally be my choice, but I think Nagelsmann will go back to the 4-2-2-2, because that seems to be the main formation this season, not the 4-2-3-1. However much I would like the 4-2-3-1 to return. Anyway, so in terms of the tactics, I think it will be that 4-2-2-2, and the wingers are going to come far inside, like we saw in the first games against Frankfurt, against Leipzig. The wingers will come far inside, and that'll leave Davies and Benjamin Pavard to really push up far, provide that width, while Thomas Muller and Musiala are really, or Coman, are really roaming in the inside of the pitch. There'll be lots of interchanges, so there'll be the classic Muller and Gnabry swapperoo. So Gnabry will often be on the right while Muller occupies a central position. It'll be like the first few games, basically. Fullbacks provide the width, lots of interchanges, attacking football. And Union play a 3-5-2 formation. So this 4-2-2-2 could really, as it's maybe like the 4 attackers versus the 3 centre-backs in some instances, because it's all in that narrow area. It could force some overloads, it could force confusion from the Union centre-backs. They may be going out of position and then leaving gaps as one follows it by an attacker, another midfielder or something makes a run through, could leave gaps. And that's how Bayern will play. But if it is a 4-2-3-1, which is the real 2 options, I think it'll really... I would hope to see Musiala in that left wing spot if it was a 4-2-3-1 and Coman on the right. And that would mean that Davies would really push further up, which would make it a 3-4-2, 3-4-2-1 formation in the build-up, sort of, with Davies really being that left winger, Coman is like the right wing, or a wing back, should we say. And I think that Bayern should actually play this way, even though I think the 4-2-3-1, the 4-2-2-2 will come. I think that the wingers will really stretch the wing backs of Union. Yes, they play 3 at the back, a 3-5-2 formation. The wing backs would mean that Bayern are having 6 attacking players when they're going forward, if both the wing backs push forward. And that will leave Thomas Muller, Sadio Mane, and Jamal Musiala, the 2-1, so it's like a 3-4, and then 2-1. That 2-1 against the 3 centre-backs, so 3-on-3, and Muller, Musiala, and Sadio Mane can easily take care of that. So that's how Bayern would play with the 4-2-3-1 formation. I think that Benjamin Pavard in this instant would drop more into a... he would drop more into centre-back because Davies is really pushing forward. But it'll be really interesting to see. I hope to see a 4-2-3-1. And in terms of my score prediction, I think that Bayern will win 4-0. Union are top of the table, and they're doing really well right now. But for example, their XG statistics against in their 6-1 win against Schalke were not all too flattering. So they maybe overperformed the quality of their shots, and they beat a very poor Leipzig. So I think that we can inflict a hammering on them. I think we will inflict a hammering on them. Please come back, check my player ratings, which will be out tomorrow for the match. I also did player ratings of the last match, so check that out. But check the player ratings 1 hour after the match. Thank you very much. Leave a comment below what you would like me to do next, and goodbye.